10-year-old Emma Rodriguez placed her small hand over her chest, feeling the strong, steady rhythm that had been beating inside her for exactly 2 years, 3 months, and 14 days. Standing at the family feud podium beside her father, Tom Rodriguez, Emma carried herself with the quiet confidence of someone who understood that every heartbeat was a gift, even if she couldn't fully comprehend the profound sacrifice that had made her continued existence possible. When Steve Harvey asked the question that would lead to one of the most extraordinary moments in television history, Emma's answer came from the deepest place of gratitude an 8-year-old could access. Who would you most like to thank? The family of the little boy who gave me his heart, Emma said simply, her small hand moving instinctively to her chest, where another child's heart beat strong and steady. I don't know who they are, but I think about them every day. I want them to know that their little boy saved my life, and I'm taking really good care of his heart. The Family Feud studio fell into the kind of reverent silence that comes when 300 people simultaneously recognize they are witnessing something sacred. This wasn't just a game show answer. It was a child's expression of gratitude for the ultimate gift, spoken with the innocent honesty that only children possess when they speak about matters of life and death. Steve Harvey felt his chest tighten with emotion as he looked down at Emma, understanding immediately that this little girl was carrying not just a transplanted heart, but the weight of knowing that her life had come at the cost of another family's devastating loss. As someone who deeply valued family and understood the preciousness of life, Steve could barely imagine the complex emotions surrounding this moment. Beside Emma, Tom Rodriguez struggled to maintain his composure as he watched his daughter speak about the anonymous family, whose generosity had given him back his child. For 2 years, he had wondered about the parents who had made the impossible decision to donate their child's organs during the worst moment of their lives, and he had carried a gratitude so profound that it sometimes felt overwhelming. Let me take you back to how we got here. Emma Rodriguez had been born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome, a rare congenital heart defect where the left side of the heart is severely underdeveloped. From birth, Emma's parents knew their daughter would need multiple surgeries and, ultimately, a heart transplant. Emma's early childhood had been defined by hospitals and procedures. She had undergone 3 open-heart surgeries before her 6th birthday, each one buying time, but never addressing the fundamental problem that her heart couldn't sustain her growing body. When Emma was 7, her mother Maria died in a car accident. Just 6 months before Emma reached the top of the transplant list, Tom found himself facing the possibility of losing his daughter while still grieving his wife. The call came on a Tuesday evening in March 2021. Emma, then 8, was in end-stage heart failure. Dr. Chen called Tom. "We have a heart for Emma. The donor is an 8-year-old boy from Phoenix. The heart is a perfect match." The transplant surgery took 14 hours. Emma's recovery was remarkable. Within weeks, she was more active than she had been in years. But with recovery came questions that her 8-year-old mind struggled to process about the little boy whose heart now beat in her chest. For 2 years, Emma had carried awareness that her life was possible because another family had experienced unimaginable loss. She understood that her continued existence was not something to take for granted, and she felt a responsibility to honor the gift she had been given. Tom had tried to contact the donor family through the organ procurement organization, writing letters that were forwarded through intermediaries, but had never received responses. The Family Feud opportunity had come through the Children's Heart Foundation for their Medical Miracles Week. Emma had seen it as an opportunity to publicly thank the family who had saved her life, even if they would never know her gratitude was meant for them. During the drive from Denver to Atlanta, Emma had been thoughtful and somewhat nervous, not about appearing on television, but about whether she would find the right words to express her gratitude to a family she had never met, but thought about every day. "Daddy," she had said as they checked into their hotel, "do you think the little boy's family watches Family Feud? Do you think they'll see me on TV and know that I'm the girl who got his heart?" Tom had held his daughter close, understanding that she was carrying an emotional burden that no 10-year-old should have to bear. "Emma, sweetheart, whether they see the show or not, I know that family would be so happy to know that you're healthy and strong and living the beautiful life they hoped for when they made their decision." The Family Feud studios had been overwhelming for Emma in the best possible way. The bright lights, the enthusiastic audience, the energy of television production, everything about the environment had felt alive and exciting to a little girl who had spent too much of her early childhood in sterile hospital rooms. During the family introductions, Emma had presented herself with the poise of someone who had learned to be brave in the face of medical challenges. "I'm Emma Rodriguez," she had said clearly. "I'm 10 years old, and I'm from Denver. This is my daddy, Tom, and 2 years ago I got a new heart that saved my life." The audience had responded with warm, supportive applause, and Steve had immediately understood that Emma's story was something special. "Emma, that's incredible. Tell me about your new heart. How are you feeling?" "I feel great," Emma had replied with genuine enthusiasm. "I can run and play and do everything that other kids do. My new heart is really strong, and it beats perfectly. I take medicine every day to make sure my body doesn't reject it, and I go to the doctor a lot, but I feel like a normal kid now." Steve had smiled at Emma's openness and positivity. "That's beautiful, sweetheart. And you said you got your heart from another child?" Emma's expression had grown more serious. "Yes, from a little boy who died. I don't know his name or anything about him, but I think about him every day. I wish I could tell his family thank you." The game had progressed with Emma participating enthusiastically and joyfully. Her energy and stamina were remarkable compared to what Tom remembered from her pre-transplant days, and her positive attitude had infected everyone around her. The Rodriguez family was playing against the Thompson family from Georgia, and both teams had been supportive and encouraging, understanding that Emma's presence represented something miraculous. During the second round, when Steve asked for things that are gifts, Emma had buzzed in with life, earning the #1 spot on the board, and a meaningful look from Steve, who understood that Emma was speaking from profound personal experience about what it meant to receive something precious. But it was during the fourth round that the moment arrived that would create one of the most emotionally powerful experiences in Family Feud history. Steve had announced the survey question with his usual energy, not knowing that he was about to ask something that would touch the deepest part of Emma's gratitude. "Name someone you would most like to thank." The question hung in the studio air, and for a 10-year-old girl who had spent 2 years carrying gratitude for a family she had never met, the answer was immediate and heartfelt. Emma had stepped up to the microphone with the confidence of someone who had learned that speaking your truth was important, especially when that truth involved honoring other people's sacrifices. "The family of the little boy who gave me his heart," Emma had said, her voice carrying clearly across the studio. "I don't know who they are, but I think about them every day. I want them to know that their little boy saved my life, and I'm taking really good care of his heart." The studio had fallen completely silent. This wasn't just a game show answer. It was a child's expression of gratitude for the ultimate sacrifice, spoken with the kind of innocent honesty that made everyone present understand they were witnessing something sacred. Steve Harvey slowly set down his index cards. Something in Emma's tone, in the way she had spoken about taking care of someone else's heart, told him that this was a moment requiring more than standard game show response. "Emma," Steve said gently, "that's one of the most beautiful answers I've ever heard. Tell us more about what it means to you to have this little boy's heart." Emma looked at her father, who gave her an encouraging nod, understanding that this was Emma's story to tell and her gratitude to express. "Every morning, when I wake up, I put my hand on my chest and say thank you to the little boy," Emma explained, demonstrating the gesture she described. "I don't know his name, but I call him my heart angel. I try to be really good and kind because I want his family to know that he saved a good person." The audience murmured with emotion, many people wiping their eyes as they recognized the profound love and responsibility Emma felt toward her anonymous donor. "I wish I could hug his mommy and daddy and tell them that their little boy is still helping people," Emma continued. "His heart beats in me every day, and that means part of him is still alive, helping me live and be happy." But what happened next was something that no one in the studio, not Emma, not Tom, not even the producers had anticipated. During Emma's emotional explanation, a family backstage had been crying and holding each other. Carlos and Isabella Martinez, along with their 12-year-old daughter Sophia, had been in the Family Feud audience as guests of a family friend who worked in television production. They had been living in Atlanta since 2021, when their 8-year-old son Diego had died in a bicycle accident that had led to the donation of his organs to save the lives of 4 children. Isabella had known immediately that Emma was describing Diego. The timeline was exact, the hospital was correct, and the details matched everything they had been told about the heart recipient. For 2 years, the Martinez family had wondered about the children who had received Diego's organs, had hoped they were healthy and happy, but had never expected to encounter one of them in person. "That's Diego's heart," Isabella had whispered to Carlos as they listened to Emma speak. "That little girl has our son's heart." While Emma was speaking about her gratitude and her daily thanks to her heart angel, the Martinez family was backstage, struggling with the overwhelming emotion of hearing their son's recipient speak about Diego with such love and reverence. Carlos approached the production team.
"Excuse me,"
he said, his voice shaking with emotion. "But I think that little girl on stage received my son's heart. We donated Diego's organs 2 years ago after he was killed in an accident. Would it be possible? Could we meet her?" The production team quickly verified the information with the organ procurement organization, and within minutes, they had confirmed that Emma Rodriguez had indeed received Diego Martinez's heart on March 15, 2021. "Steve," a producer whispered into the host's earpiece, "we have the donor family here, the parents and sister of the boy who gave Emma her heart. They want to meet her if she and her father are comfortable with it." Steve's eyes widened as he understood the magnitude of what was being offered. This wasn't just a game show anymore. This was about to become one of the most meaningful reunions in television history. "Emma," Steve said, "I need to tell you something incredible. There are some people here who have been listening to what you said about your heart angel. They're the family of the little boy who gave you his heart. They're here, and they would like to meet you. Would you like to meet them?" Emma's eyes grew wide with wonder and disbelief. "Really? The little boy's family is here? They want to meet me?" "They do, sweetheart," Steve replied. "They've been wondering about you for 2 years, just like you've been wondering about them." Emma looked at her father, who was crying openly, then back at Steve. "Yes, please. I want to meet them so much." "Ladies and gentlemen," Steve announced, turning to address the studio audience and cameras, "we are about to witness something that I believe is nothing short of miraculous. The family of the little boy who gave Emma her heart is here, and they're going to meet for the first time." From backstage emerged Carlos and Isabella Martinez, holding hands and supporting each other as they walked toward the most important moment of their grief journey. Behind them walked 12-year-old Sofia, carrying a photograph of her little brother Diego. Emma watched them approach with growing wonder and emotion. When Isabella knelt down to Emma's level, the connection was immediate and profound. "Emma," Isabella said, tears streaming down her face, "my name is Isabella Martinez. This is my husband Carlos and my daughter Sofia. Our son Diego gave you his heart." Emma stared at Isabella for a moment, then placed her hand over her chest where Diego's heart was beating. "This is your little boy's heart? This is Diego's heart?" "Yes, Misha," Isabella replied, using the Spanish term of endearment that she had used for Diego. "That is my son's heart, and it's beating strong in you." What happened next was one of the most emotionally powerful moments ever captured on television. Emma threw her arms around Isabella, and for the first time in 2 years, Isabella felt her son's heartbeat again, strong, steady, and healthy in the chest of the little girl who was living because of Diego's gift. "Thank you for letting me have Diego's heart," Emma whispered into Isabella's ear. "I take really good care of it, and I think about him every day." "Thank you for keeping him alive," Isabella whispered back. "Thank you for taking such good care of our baby's heart." Carlos approached and knelt down beside his wife and Emma. "Emma, you are our miracle. When we lost Diego, the only thing that helped us was knowing that he could save other children. Seeing you healthy and happy, this is what we prayed for." Sofia stepped forward with the photograph. "Emma, this is my little brother Diego. He was 8 when he died, and he loved to ride his bicycle and play soccer. He would be so happy to know that you're using his heart to run and play." Emma took the photograph and studied Diego's face, a bright, happy 8-year-old boy with a gap-toothed smile and mischievous eyes. He looks like he was really fun. I can feel that his heart is happy. It beats really fast when I'm excited, and it stays calm when I'm sleeping. Tom approached the Martinez family, understanding that this was a moment that belonged to all of them. Carlos, Isabella, I can never thank you enough for what you gave us. You gave us Emma's life. You gave me back my daughter. You don't need to thank us, Carlos replied. Seeing Emma healthy and knowing that Diego helped save her, that's the greatest gift you could give us. Steve Harvey then did something that would become one of the most meaningful moments in television history. He removed his suit jacket, his lucky jacket that he wore to every taping, and approached Emma and the Martinez family. Emma, Steve said, his voice thick with emotion. This jacket has been with me for every show I've hosted, but today it belongs with someone who represents the most beautiful kind of miracle. The miracle that happens when one family's generosity gives another family hope. He placed the jacket around Emma's shoulders. You wear this to remember that you are loved not just by your daddy, but by Diego's family, and by everyone who believes in the power of organ donation to save lives. Emma pulled the jacket closer around herself, then looked at Isabella. Mrs. Martinez, can I call you Tia Isabella? That means Aunt Isabella in Spanish. I want Diego's family to be my family too. Isabella's face lit up with joy. Mija, we would be honored to be your family. You can call us whenever you want, and we want to watch you grow up and see all the amazing things you do with Diego's heart. The studio erupted in applause, but it wasn't typical game show applause. It was the sound of 300 people recognizing that they had witnessed something profound about love, sacrifice, and the continuation of life through organ donation. What happened after the cameras stopped rolling became a story of healing and extended family. The Martinez family and Emma developed a close relationship, with Emma becoming like a third daughter to Carlos and Isabella. 6 months later, Emma participated in the first Diego Martinez Memorial Soccer game, raising money for organ donation awareness. The episode sparked national conversation about organ donation, dramatically increasing donor registrations. 3 years later, Emma was thriving as a normal 13-year-old, and the Martinez family had become her second family in every meaningful way. She kept Steve's jacket as a reminder of the day when gratitude met love and created bonds that transcended loss. Every day when I wake up, I still put my hand on my chest and say thank you to Diego, Emma would tell people when she spoke at organ donation events. But now I also get to say thank you to his family in person, and I get to show them that their decision to donate his organs wasn't just about saving my life. It was about creating a new kind of family built on love and gratitude. The lesson that 10-year-old Emma taught that day extends far beyond organ donation or medical miracles. She reminded the world that gratitude has the power to transform both grief and recovery, that some gifts are so profound they create permanent bonds between strangers, and that life continues not just in the people we save, but in the love we share when we honor those who saved us. Steve Harvey learned that day that the most powerful moments in television happen when you're willing to facilitate connections that heal not just individuals, but entire families. Sometimes a game show host can do more than entertain. Sometimes he can help create the kind of miracle that proves love is stronger than loss. The Martinez family discovered that their son's death could be transformed into a legacy of life, that their grief could coexist with joy when they saw Diego's heart beating strong in Emma, and that organ donation creates families that extend far beyond biology. Because that's what love looks like when it transcends death, not the end of connection, but the beginning of a different kind of family. That's what hope sounds like when it beats in someone else's chest. Not just survival, but the promise of dreams fulfilled and futures made possible. And that's what happens when a child's gratitude meets a family's generosity, proving that some gifts are so powerful they create bonds that last forever, and that the greatest way to honor those we've lost is to celebrate the lives they made possible.